They're liars. They're liars. Whenever they vouch too much for them, I don't believe you. They won't even know their wife. They're liars. He's a good guy. Liars. Hi guys, welcome to Tasha Reacts. Welcome to Tasha Reacts. Everybody's on well, everybody's on good in the hood. Hi, my name is Tasha. I do have another channel called Tachassociety where I do hair, mostly hair over there. And I do have another channel called Tasha Jean where I do story times. Check me out. Alright, let me put my disclaimer out there. If the person comes up to me and say, hey, you don't have the right to be sharing my video, I will take it down because I don't care. I usually leave the person's information down in the description bar, TikTok handle towards the end of the video. This is a reaction channel, so I will be talking. Sometimes I get a little bit off topic. Sometimes I just want to vent. Sometimes I want a therapy session. Baby, I will be talking. Sometimes I talk a little bit too much. So I usually leave the person's information down in the description bar if I can find it, so you could go straight to the source. Alright? Baby. Hello. We are 500 subscribers. We are surpassed. We passed 500. We are 510? 510? What is it? Baby, I want to say thank you. You guys don't understand. That day made my day. One day, baby, I got from, I think it was 456. Now I'm at 510. I want to say thank you. God bless you so much. Thank you so much. Baby, my personality is not a personality that everybody would like, but baby, I truly appreciate you guys. You guys don't understand. Y'all made my day yesterday. I want to say thank you for all you have done. All the nice words, kind words, liking my video, sharing my video, baby. I truly appreciate you. Guys, we are moving on up to the east side. Alright, so I am about to go to work. So I'm trying to do a quick video real quick. I will start probably this weekend. I'll put up the engagement swindler videos up, but right now I do have to go to work, so I just want to do a quick video. Alright, so let's get started.
I don't know if TikTok is ending, but I'm gonna be messy and go ahead and share the story of how I'm supposed to be driving to Philadelphia literally right fucking now, but I'm not, because I found out the guy that I'm dating and was supposed to be meeting up with has a live-in girlfriend of 5 fucking years.
What? Can I ask a question? Like, men are weird. Like, I don't know. I feel like, why not just be real? Why not just be real? Just be real. Like, hey, I got a girl. I got a situation. A lot of women will take the side chick role. I ain't gonna lie. A lot of women will do it. Because I feel like the men are going away. I don't know what happened to the men. They're gone. We don't have that much men. So a lot of women will even take the position. But I feel like you need to be real. But I feel like it's like, maybe it's the like suspense of having the side chick. Like, yeah, that's my, you're the side, I don't know.
If you followed me for any amount of time, you would know that I am a certified crash out. I have never been one to heal in silence. I've always been one to tweet through it, or in this case, TikTok through it. I'm always going to process exactly how I'm feeling out loud.
I'm like that too, in a way. But I'm not as bad as I was. When I was younger, baby, Facebook will know everything. Yeah, F that name. And no. But I'm to an extent, because I'm very private in a way. I'm private in a way, but not private, because I have a storytime channel. But these are stuff that been happening to me. I'm not going to really explain, like, probably like funny parts of it, or people that wasn't really that important to me. But I'm not going to go in the moment, because when I go in the moment, I don't think about it. Especially sometimes you act crazy, do all this bang, gang, F this man, and you back. And you look stupid. You look like an army. You look like an idiot. I'm just saying.
Again, no shame in that. What's shameful is what the fuck you did, Montez. Let's start with how he and I started. Because I don't give a fuck, and like I said, I'm so tired of men just not being held accountable. His name on here is Becoming a Psychologist, and on Twitter and Instagram, it's Joe Sweatpants. And again, his name is Montez. So fuck you, Montez. Anyway, we started out because I posted a picture, a selfie on Twitter, and because I'm so gorgeous, I got a lot of followers, and just people that were...
Oh, she is beautiful. I ain't gonna lie. You know, some people be like, I'm so gorgeous, and you're like, I don't think that, but she's pretty. She's beautiful. Like, very pretty. If that's her real hair, gorgeous. Like, Montez, you fucked up. First of all, dang, I'm telling y'all a different type of beast. I think even in the other story time, the girl ended up telling her stepmother's name. I'm like, dang, y'all don't give a damn. Even in my story times, I'll say baby daddy number 1, baby daddy number 2, you know, or if I talk about them, you know, people will look. I ain't gonna lie. I have people that look like, hey, is that him? Like, well, that's my baby daddy, so it's easy public record. But it's like dudes that I talk about, you're not gonna know who this person is. Y'all just don't care. Y'all don't care. Damn it. Y'all don't give a damn. Yeah. Nowadays, people sue you for defamation of character. They sue you for everything. I'm just saying. Just, I don't know.
Kind of like hitting me up off of that selfie, and he was one of them. He messaged me on Twitter and said something like the initial conversation that we had didn't really go anywhere. And then a few days later, he messaged me on Instagram. I want to say this was like right before Thanksgiving was his very, very first message to me on Twitter. And then right after Thanksgiving was his second message to me on Instagram. The conversation that we had on Instagram like stuck. It kind of went somewhere, and well, it went everywhere. From there, we never stopped talking. We decided to like exchange numbers, and he asked me to call him. I remember I was driving home from my parents' house that day, so I called him like while I was in the car driving home, and then the second I got home, I FaceTimed him. I am a very delusional lover girl. Literally, my name on Twitter is Lovergirl Kenny. But at the same time, as you know, delusional and crazy as I am, I don't like to assume that every single guy that hits me up is like on some romantic shit. Like, I like to kind of feel it out first, and I had thought it was, but it was confirmed to me during our first FaceTime call when I got on the screen and he was like, wow, you're real life gorgeous. Like, you're not just, it's not just like on Twitter. So I was like, okay, this is like what I thought it was.
Okay, I'm going to say something to you, and this I got this from friends too, so it's not just me. So men, don't come at me like, bitch, you don't even know what you're talking about. I do, to an extent. I ain't a man, so I don't know. But I know dudes that say they don't value women that's very beautiful. They'll bang bang chicka bang bang with you. But when you're too, especially if they think like you're out their lead or you're just too beautiful, some men, correct me if I'm wrong, please. You know, I don't want to get, no, men would fight me. You dumb bitch, you stupid, you don't even know what you're talking about, you stupid girl. Like, okay, so, you know, but some men will just use you as an accomplishment. Like, they know what they have at home, but they see you're beautiful, you have a nice body, and they just want to add you to their body count just to say they had you. You get what I mean? Some men already make you a certified side hoe or a booty call without you even knowing you're a booty call. You know what I'm saying? So that's what the guys like, oh my God, Tasha, you're just so beautiful. I'd be scared. I'd be like, but why do you think I'm so beautiful? This one dude was like, what? I said, because I tell you, when a man give me, because, you know, I listen to men. Like, you know, I have men that tell me advice. Like, they'll talk, you know, and I'll listen. Like, well, this is how you think. Men don't think like us. They think differently. So what we think is like, oh yeah, he think I'm banging and blah, blah, blah. No. Men look at you as what they could benefit through you. Now, I'm not saying just money. Some of them will be like, yo, she's beautiful, but what does she do? You know what I'm saying? Does she know how to cook? Does she know how to clean? Whatever their value is, they keep you on a high standard. Some men is beauty. Some men just like a pretty thing. But I know men that had beautiful women, left their wife for the beautiful woman, and the beautiful woman didn't know what to do. They went right back to their wife. Maybe I guess that was a lesson learned. I know this one dude that went back to his wife because the wife, the girlfriend that he left for, she was beautiful. Oh, she was beautiful. When I seen her, I said, wow, how you get her? He's like, what the fuck you trying to say? I said, oh no, she's beautiful. His wife, I'm not, you know, that's his tits. But the girl, gorgeous. I ain't gonna lie. That girl walked by, You make you think you're a lesbian. That's how beautiful she was. But she had no values. She had, all she thought about is, I'm beautiful. You have to do this. But he's like, I'm doing all this for her. She don't clean. She don't cook, you know, because he's old-fashioned. And that's why I tell you, sometimes it's good when you have old-fashioned guys. But in a way, it's not, because kind of, you have to cook, clean, and do everything for them. But, you know, it's kind of good when you have old-fashioned guys, because, you know what I'm saying, their values a little different. So he's like, I was with her for mad long, and she didn't want to do anything. Like, she didn't see her worth, you know?
There's something here, basically. Every day after that, we talked, texted, and FaceTimed, like, heavy. Every single day, all day. We talked about taking trips together. We wanted to go to Canada and Philly and Michigan, like all these different places just all across the nation. I had just started a new job, maybe like a month and a half, 2 months prior to he and I connecting. So I didn't have leave yet. Like I was still within my 90 days at work and I didn't have leave yet. So I didn't want to commit to taking a trip, but I was like, in the future, once I figure it out, yes, like I'm down. So that was kind of like in the balance and we were talking about it, but we hadn't set anything up yet. But we still continued talking, like I said, FaceTiming, calling, texting, all day, every day, up until early December when, like through the time that I took a business trip for work. I was literally texting him like the whole road trip. I was talking to my coworker about him and kind of saying like, there's this new guy in my life. I called him to let him know I was going out to dinner, texted him throughout dinner, pictures of the food I got back home to the hotel and FaceTimed him. Like, we were talking about all the things that like you talk about when you're meeting someone new and trying to get to know someone new. Like this wasn't just sexual. It wasn't just like light stuff. Like we were talking and he handled me with so much care. Like I don't even know how to describe it. He's studying to become a therapist, as his out on here would suggest. And he was so sensitive with me and so caring, and so he just handled me with care. Like I really enjoyed talking to him. It was such a delight and I always looked forward to it. I can't stress this enough. It was fully understood that we were talking as though we were interested in being with one another. We wanted to get to know each other on a deeper level. I mentioned a second ago that it was all until I got home from like the work trip that I went on, and that was because we got into an argument the second I got home. The work trip was exhausting. It was a lot of fun, but it was a lot of work, a lot of being on the go, paired with being inebriated. So on the day that I traveled back from work, I got home and I like had to go pick up my puppy. I had just like a lot of stuff to do. I finally got home and I was just exhausted, but he was like pressuring me to FaceTime him because I don't think we got to FaceTime that day because I had been like on the road. So he's pressuring me to FaceTime him. I was like, I really want to have energy for you. Like I'm not going to be fun to talk to if I talk to you like right now because I'm so tired. So he was like, okay, take your nap. I took a nap and I thought I was going to wake up, but I ended up not. I just slept through the night up until like through the next morning. So I texted him.
In his mind, he think you have another man, and that's why you're not FaceTiming. Like, even like dudes I talk to back in the days, because right now I'm trying to focus on my social media and moving on up. And I notice when you have a man or you bang bang chicka bang bang, you start slacking. And I said, no, God, this is my year. Who am I talking to? God, my guardian angel. You didn't know? Oh, okay, don't worry about it. But no, sir. But sometimes when you have like, when you're telling a guy, the guy, you're like, oh, you know, I'm tired, blah, blah, blah. He probably like, but you always FaceTime me. Why are you not FaceTiming me? In his mind, it's red, like, why? Well, hello, that's me. You tired? Well, FaceTime me, let me see you going to bed. What is it? Is it the Leo? It's the Leo in me, huh? Yeah, controlling. Hello? I need to see you. I need to see you. Even you. I'm going to bed. Okay. Why you can't go to bed with me on the phone? No, sir. Seriously. Yeah, no, sir. But I think it's just more of like, he probably thought like you're lying. Like, yeah, sure you're so tired now, but you always talk to me every day, you know?
And I was like, I'm so sorry. I was so tired. I just ended up falling asleep. Like, I'm sorry. I could tell he was disappointed because he had texted me saying like, that's enough sleep or whatever, and something else. So I knew he was kind of like annoyed that I had fallen asleep, but it wasn't that big of a deal to me. Like, I was literally telling you all day, I'm so tired, but I can't wait to talk to you. Like, it was just a mistake and not something that I think someone should be upset about. I feel like you would be kind of understanding of that. But he texted me back and said something just so dry, like so dry and so emotionless, and it triggered me. It was just so unlike him because, like I said, he handled me with so much care. And in relationships that I've had in the past, I don't like being treated like I'm being punished for doing something wrong. Like if there's something that you don't like me doing, say it. Don't withdraw emotion, if that makes sense. I didn't like it. So I was like, it's early enough, I'm just gonna cut this off. And I didn't even respond. I just ghosted him, which I know is hypocritical from what I just said, but cut my losses, cut him off. And we didn't talk for maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks, something like that. During that time though, he watched every single story I posted. I muted his. He liked all my selfies. He liked all my tweets. And I was making, you know, special care to avoid all of his, because that's just me. I think I literally tweeted during that time frame, like, my husband would never, because I just didn't think that, like, he was the guy for me, and that I'm realizing now is my intuition. I wish I would have listened to her. Good Lord. But I was ready to be done with him, is basically how it felt. One day though, this was probably like a week, not even a week, less than a week before Christmas though, he messages me and he was like, are you good? This was on Instagram. And I was like, yep, nigga, like, yeah, I'm fine. Why? What's up? And he was like, you just haven't responded to me or something like that. And I was like, yeah, your last message was so dry that, like, I didn't even want to entertain it for a second. Why would I?
Talk from there. So he waited about, how many months it's been? And then he writes you, are you good? He didn't even write you the day, the week. He waited months or a day. How many weeks? I'm not even going to make it up. Oh, baby.
To a talk from there. We kind of explained each other's sides and we both understood each other's sides, but we like talked through the issue is basically the root of that conversation. And he was like, I missed you. And I said, I know. I know you missed me. He basically was saying like he liked me so much and he was really disappointed that he didn't get to talk to me. He wished that I had just said what I was feeling at the time instead of ghosting him, because the therapist popped out, like, you talk through things. You're supposed to fix things and not just run away from them. But from there, we kind of rekindled things. We kissed and made up, and we were right back to talking heavy like we had been the weeks prior. FaceTimes, calls, texts, all day long, all over again, right? Like, nothing had lapsed. We continued that pattern every single day, minus like maybe 1 or 2 days where I caught an attitude with him on like New Year's and I just didn't want to talk to him. But on New Year's Day, we rekindled, and he FaceTimed me that morning, actually. So, like, everything was good from there. He was literally like, I can't stay mad at you once he saw me. Yeah, like, things were just fine after that. Really started to, like, kind of get to know each other and grow to like each other. I really cannot explain to you how much time and effort this man poured into me. Since some of my past relationships, I've been very, very avoidant and very quick to cut someone off at, like, the first hint of something. But he would, every single time, grab me by the fucking neck and pull me back in. Would always maintain that he wanted to work through problems and, like, fix things, because that's what you do in a relationship. We had all the conversations that you could think of, like FaceTime dates for hours at a time sometimes. He would call me every single day on his lunch break. I would sit there and I would talk to his coworkers. I would meet all of his friends. I FaceTimed with a few of his friends. His friends would literally be like, he went by the nickname Speech. They'd be like, Speech is a good guy. You gotta, you know, make sure you take care.
They're liars. They're liars. Whenever they vouch too much for them, I don't believe you. They won't even know their wife. They're liars. He's a good guy. Liars.
Sure you take care of him like he wasn't the one fucking around. But yeah, like after finding out what I found out, like I truly don't understand how this man had enough hours in the day. Nor do I understand how he had an abundance of men, these friends that like were not, as not shit as he was. Because I felt so prioritized and like I was becoming part of his life, as he was mine. He talked to my coworkers too. What the fuck? Anyway, we were talking about kids. We were talking about marriage. We were talking about how he wanted me to come and like sit in the gym at his basketball place, or sit and watch him play basketball at his gym with all the other wives and baby mamas. He would be annoyed if I took too long to respond to him. He would literally call me if like I hadn't texted back in a quick enough time. He's calling me baby, my baby, honey, my love, my wonderful lady. Like I had all these nicknames. We were talking about our future together, our past traumas, like getting deep. And And I was guarded, and he knew that, and he actively worked to get me to trust him. There was one time where he told me that he was going on a hike, so I knew he was going to be kind of like out of pocket that day, but I was expecting him to still wake up and text me good morning like he had every single other day. I didn't hear from that man until 7 p.m. my time. I think he's Pacific time, so it's like 3 hours behind, 4 p.m. his time. So I was like, that's annoying, and I was really irritated by it, but I was trying not to be. Coincidentally, that same day, someone had gone through like my media tab on Twitter and liked this picture of it was like a silhouette of my ass. It's a good picture. I ended up reposting it, and I like shared it to my Instagram story too, and I was like, oldie but goodie or something was like the caption that I put. A little bit after I posted that, and he texted me, he responded to my Instagram story, and he was like, wow, I literally can't leave you alone even just for a little bit. And I was like, you shouldn't want to. I had been annoyed, and I will admit that like me sharing that photo was probably somewhat vindictive. It was mainly because someone liked the photo, and it kind of brought it back up in my memories, but whatever. I had been annoyed because like all day without any sort of communication, not a good morning, not a fuck you, nothing. While like the Instagram messaging was happening, we were simultaneously going back and forth over text. I don't know exactly how this conversation happened. I could go back and look, but he at some point made a joke about how me sharing the photo on my story was worse than the fact that like he had hung out and gone on this hike with like another woman. He knows I'm a crash out, and I did not take kindly to that joke. I lost my mind. I basically told him like, I don't do the multiple women shit. I don't care if we're not officially dating. Like I don't do that. I also told him like, because I hadn't heard from him all day, I was like, we have different communication styles. I know I'm clingy, but I still need like the communication to tell me that you're not going to be able to communicate. And I was like, we have very different communication styles and needs, and you can't meet that for me, so that's fine. I'm done. Basically, I was like, we're good.
That's me. And I had to work on that. I had to stop. Well, I learned that because of my son's father, because he used to break up with me all the time. I told you, we'd be friends, and he'd be like, I'm like, we'll bang, bang, chicken bang. The next day, he'd be like, I don't think we meant to be together. Like, we just was together. And then sometimes I'm like, what the fuck did I do? You know, but then I started becoming that too. So it just got to a point that we just always breaking up. Yeah, if you did, like, you know. But you can't always let go, because then when men will use that as if, oh yeah, we ain't together, he gonna do him. He like, well, technically we broke up. Girl, we don't break up in my relationship. We together. We together until something really makes me leave you. But whenever you keep breaking up, they're like, oh, bet we're not together. It's like you giving him the leeway to do him.
We're good here.
Yeah.
He tried calling me and I ignored it. Then he tried texting me being like, call me. Like, are you being serious right now? We were arguing. He convinced me to call him, so I did. This is why I keep saying, like, I don't know how this man had enough hours in the day. During that call, I was arguing about how I like needed communication. Basically, I was like, I can't do the going all day without hearing from you thing. I was like, even if you're busy that day, check in the morning, say you're gonna talk to me later, and like I'll be fine. I was also saying like I didn't believe that you were alone on that hike, and he was like, I wasn't alone, I was with a group. And he was like, I was just joking about it being another woman. But he did say, he was like, no one was on their phone, so I didn't feel like I should be on my phone either. And I was like, I get that, but like you still woke up that morning and like were on your phone, and then you left for your hike. I was like, there could have been a text to me somewhere in that. So that's why I'm like a little irritated, just because you went the whole day. You know I don't like the jokes about other women, like that sort of thing. So long story short, we talked through that, and he was kind of like walking me through my emotions like a therapist would. He talked me off the ledge. He was very reassuring. I was like, I know I'm clingy. I know I need clear communication. Otherwise I get really imaginative. But he was so reassuring, and he was like, I'll never miss another good morning. He talked to me through my feelings and was literally like, do you know that you being this upset about this means that like you're starting to catch feelings for me and that you really like me? And he's like,
not him making you one of his clients. You know that just because it's like a mind game thing. Baby, I know how I feel. Mr. Doctor, sir. I know how.
You know that I really like you too. I kept saying I don't know because I was like mad and I didn't want to confirm it for him. Basically, that the worst thing I could do is let a man know I like him. I didn't want to agree, but what blows me about this is that he asked me during this conversation, are you afraid of getting hurt? And I said, of course I am. Like, of course I am. And he assured me that he wasn't going to hurt me. And I said to that, I was like, I just don't know if I can trust you. And when he asked me why, I was like, I don't know. Men just like to lie and waste your time like that. Like, I don't When I said that, he seemed so offended that I would accuse him of doing something like that. I remember he texted me, I think it was prior to us getting on the phone, like when he convinced me to call him, but he had said, like, do you really think I have the time and energy to entertain 4 women?
I told you, those are the flags. Yo, it's like y'all all use the same thing. Do you think I have the energy? Yes. Yes, I do think that. I do. Yes.
And I was like, I don't know your life. But he was one for semantics. So I'm like, if it wasn't 4, it was definitely at least 2. But whatever. He talked me through that conversation, said he would never miss a good morning, and things were okay after that. I remember vividly that conversation was when I was like, my heart is safe with him. That's when I decided that I could trust him and that I was officially done pushing him away. We were locked in. I was confident that this was going to be my next man, and things were really good after that. From this point on, it was like the same thing. I was talking daily. We were talking about a future, and I decided to... My close friends on Instagram is like, I trust them with my fucking life. Like, I would give them my social security number if they asked for it. I trust them. I decided to share on my close friends that, like, I had found a guy that I liked. This is after, like, at least a month of us talking. I hate that I'm, like, upset about a man that's fucked up. But yeah, I overshared to my close friends a lot. I told them about him, and they were all asking questions and like whatever. I was like super excited. I liked this man. Like, after that conversation, I decided I was all in. I crochet him a fucking hat. Like, I literally made this hat because he's an Eagles fan. I liked him, okay? I was posting, like, screenshots of our conversations, and they were all like, wow, Kendra, I could tell that you really like this man. You're in love. And I did. I liked him. We had, like, a really good thing going. I felt very secure in it. And around this time is when I had, like, finally hit my 90 days of work. So I got my leave situation figured out. And he and I decided to, like, definitively make plans for meeting up and, like, taking that vacation that we had talked about. He lives in California and I live in Virginia. He's a big Eagles fan. So we had talked about going to, like, wherever the Eagles were playing. And I don't know football. So they were going to be in, like, Wisconsin or Michigan or something like that. So we were going to take a trip out to there. And he was going to fly me out. This was all going to be on him. He had always said he's a provider. He's a protector. Like, he was going to get me there, basically. As time went on, we shifted gears a little bit, and we decided that we were just gonna meet up in Philadelphia. He wanted to go to the official Eagles, like, merch store or whatever, and get some merch, get me a jersey, and we were just gonna kind of explore the city. And he wanted to get me a really nice hotel room with him and go on our first, like, official proper date. And then on Sunday, I think the plan was for us to go to, like, an official Eagles bar, and we were gonna watch the game, and then he would fly back that same night. I live in Virginia, like I said, so it's only like a 2, maybe 3-hour drive for me. It's nothing to, like, get to Philly. So I was super down to do that, and I was really excited to, like, meet him. Looking back now, one kind of red flag kept popping up. This weekend is a long weekend. So Monday is both Martin Luther King Jr. Day and Inauguration Day. Everyone, for the most part, is off work on Monday. Flights for him to come in on a Friday and leave on Sunday were, like, at minimum, for even fucking Spirit Airlines, $800 to, like, $1,000. It's expensive. That on top of, like, the hotel costs, the cost of our dates. He wanted to buy me a dress and just overall splash out, like, get a rental car, like, all the things that he would have to spend money on. I felt bad. Like, I have no problem with men spending their money, but I just felt bad. It was going to be a very, like, overly expensive weekend, whereas he could either come to Virginia or we could push it back a week and it would be, like, half the cost. I'm cheap. I'm frugal. I like to kind of look for things like that, and that's something that he would always make fun of me for, but I was just like, we could do this another time. I wanted him to get the best bang for his buck, essentially. And also, one other thing is we forgot that on Sunday, like, when we would go to the bar, it would be in Eastern time. So he was so used to it being in was that Pacific time zone or whatever. So the game wouldn't start until 4 p.m. He would be used to it starting at 1 p.m. He would watch it until, like, maybe 3 or 4 and then be able to catch a flight back home. He wouldn't be able to catch a flight until, like, 7 at the earliest. So that was just going to be a very, very long day of travel. So I was like, why don't you just go back home on Monday? Like, you're off work, I think. It's just gonna be so much easier. Like, yeah, it's another night at the hotel, but still, like, just go back Monday. And he was very, like, I don't know how to explain it. He was very, like, weird about deciding to leave on Monday. And he kind of gave me like non-answers until finally he was very firmly like, no, I'm going back on Sunday. So I was like, okay, whatever. But keep that in mind. He wanted to go back on Sunday, not Monday. Monday is January 20th. So we're planning this trip and like we're getting super excited. I was really excited to meet him. And then the California fires happen. He has to evacuate to a friend's house. And like, I know like this was never about me, but I can't tell you how terrified I was for him. Like, I was stressed.
So I'm going to stop it here because I got to go to work, okay? So I'm going to make this a part 2. I just wanted to have content. I'm trying to have content for you guys, okay? So I'm going to make this a part 1 and part 2, and then we will follow up. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thumbs up, like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.